Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Lady Calamere, and today I'm doing a presentation on Matangi. I have found out some sad news. A friend of mine lost her life, and I would like to dedicate this video to Melissa. I don't want to give out her whole name, but may she be free of any regrets. May she be free of any unfinished business. And may she find divine bliss and peace in the afterlife. So mote it be. So this is my 81st video, and I am going to be doing it on Matangi. Who is Matangi? She is a Mahavidya. She is the 9th Mahavidya. Mahavidya, or the tantric goddesses, and they're called Dasha Mahavidya, which means the 10 she of great wisdom. She is known as the tantric Sarasvati. Her energy is different from Sarasvati, but they do deal with wisdom and knowledge, where Sarasvati deals with outer knowledge such as math, reading, learning of history, while Matangi is the deeper knowledge of inner knowledge. So yes, Sarasvati deals with spirituality. I'm not saying she doesn't, but they do different things. They represent different things, where Sarasvati be more akin to like Brahmanism, where Matangi is more akin to the Chandali, the outcast, the rejected. So Matangi, she does not always appeal to other people, because she does represent impurity. She does represent those who are cast out by society. She does represent pollution and uncleanliness. So, and in that regard, she's seen as an aggressive goddess. Matangi, she is the wild goddess. She is the one who lives on the margins of society. She is free from, is this pure? Is this not pure? Is this what a Brahmin would do? Is this not what a Brahmin would do? She has transcended that, and she represents that the transcending of all that. So she is the one who lives in pollution, loves pollution, eats pollution, drinks pollution. She is, as I said, the tantric Sarasvati. She is very powerful, and many people love her, and she's very accepting. She accepts the sinner as well as the saint, the clean and the unclean, the discarded, the unwanted, the unpopular. She represents that nerdy kid who no one wants to talk to. She represents that kid who, or that person who is different, be it different religion, different color, maybe different styles of music. She represents the black sheep of the family. So Matangi, and her name is pronounced Matangi, not Matangi. I know some people's, I accidentally used to pronounce it Matangi. It's Matangi. So let me show you where this beautiful card comes from, Matangi. Beautiful card. Beautiful art. It comes from the Kali Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And the one who does the beautiful artwork is, the one to pronounce his name wrong, Jimmy Manton. You can get this on Amazon, or maybe your local occult shop if they have it, or eBay. That's the Kali Oracle. And here we have a picture of her in a yantra. So she is the goddess who prefers pollution. She is the goddess that, she is Uchista. What is that? What is Uchista? What am I talking about? So she's also called Uchista Chandali. Now, Prasad, okay. So, say Kali, I give her a clean coconut, right? I eat that coconut about 15, 20 minutes later, maybe even a day or two later, if I want to. And I eat it, and it's prasad. Now, let's say I cut open the coconut. I'm supposed to eat it a little bit first and then give it to Matangi. Where basically, I'm giving her my leftovers. Because she dislikes leftovers. And basically, I'm giving her prasad, which is, because I ate it, is considered more contaminated, not clean. So I would not take, a bite of food and then give it to Kali. I would give it to Kali first, then eat it. Now, here's another thing. If you give something to Kali and you don't want to eat it, you can give it to Matangi. That she accepts food eaten by other deities as her prasad, which is Uchista now for her. But it would be prasad from the deity. It's been blessed when the deity partakes of it. And it's polluted if we take of it and give it to the deity. Because the deity is seen as higher than us, right? Here, the roles are reversed. You're supposed to give her stale food, old food, rotten food. It's food that you're going to throw in the trash. You could give her food that you've eaten, that you've taken a bite, food that you've handled right after having sex, before you washed up, sometimes even right after you eaten, you touch food, or if the food you were going to give to, say, Krishna drops on the floor, you give it to Matangi. Or if you were going to give that, you're going to give that apple that fell on the floor, on the ground in the mud, to Parvati, but now it's Matangi's domain because it touched the ground. I mean, yeah, we could buy an apple, not know it touched the ground. But when you intentionally let it, like, touch mud and stuff and filth, then you give it to Matangi. Matangi accepts that. She accepts period blood. So women can give, like, tampons or a sanitary napkin to her. And even with the blood on her hands staining the food, you can give her that. So if you leave an apple on the table and your cat takes a bite of it, puts her teeth in it, and you see little claws in it, you can give it to Matangi. I don't know what fascination Sir Mew Mew has with apples, but he likes to try to put, do things like play with it and try to eat it. That's one of my cats, Sir Mew Mew. So Matangi is for if you were the odd man out, you feel like you're the third wheel, where you do not feel you get along with others, Matangi's for you. If you say you're the only white kid in the class, Matangi's for you. If you're the only Native American family and that moved into the neighborhood, then Matangi would represent you. If you're, say, the only Wiccan at work, then Matangi's for you. If you're the say you're the only Satanist in your family and everyone else is Christian, the Matangi is for you because you are the odd man out. And especially if you're getting singled out for it. You know, maybe you just like wearing black and everyone likes to make fun of you because you wear black all the time, like Johnny Cash, the man in black. Matangi would be for you because you're being singled out. You're constantly being singled out. If you feel singled out or different because you're depressed, maybe you have schizophrenia and no one else has it around you, well then Matangi's for you. So if you ever felt left out or kicked out or pushed out or marginalized, if you've ever been where you're not part of the popular kids, you're part of the nosebleed kids, you know, Matangi would be for you. So she is for those who feel like they do not belong, those who are left out in the cold, those who have been abandoned. She will represent you. She accepts the sinner, accepts the polluted, accepts the outcast. She accepts the second-class citizen. And she loves them. You have a home in my arms. You are safe with me, and I am your mother. So those who have been denied, those who have been mocked, those who have been rejected, labeled as unworthy, those who have been broken, those who feel like they're beyond repair. She is your mother, and she loves you. She is the goddess of joyfulness, of accepting who you are. You're different. So what? Maybe you're in a nation or a land that does not accept you for your sexuality. Maybe you will be prosecuted because of it. The Matangi represents you. If you are persecuted for your religion, if you are persecuted for your spirituality, the Matangi, you will have a mother in her. She is the source of power, of being different. She is the source of power, of solitude. She is for those souls who are experiencing disrespect, who are not seen. Maybe you used to be a beauty queen and now you're old. Maybe you're disabled and no one sees you. Maybe no one sees you in that wheelchair anymore. Maybe no one sees you in that walker. Maybe no one sees you with the gray hair, but Matangi sees you. So those who like to seek to live outside of the political, economic, religious, social systems. She represents the wild man, the wild woman, the forest dwellers, instead of the city dwellers. She is then your goddess. So she represents things of pollution, like I said, even that of sewage. Things that are impure and toxic. Think of a marshy swamp, a smelly swamp. Matangi will find a home there. So Matangi can open up a way to bypass fear. And she's releasing of social constrictions. She has transcended the social norms of what is pure and impure. She has gone against the grain and not with the crowd. But she is deep wisdom within that. She is the freedom of not fitting in, of authenticity and difference. The gift of freedom. She, Matangi, is the liberator. You cannot find peace or fulfillment in the life path and dreams that others have dreamed for you. You must find your own path. You must beat your own drum and dance to your own drumming. She is not with the mainstream of society. She's the wild man. She's the wild woman. She's the one with the wild hair. She could represent the wild person wearing bones and feathers and all sorts of face paint. She's the one who is different, representing someone with piercings and tattoos all over themselves and looking all wild and dyed hair and everything. That'd be her type of people too. Now you see that Matangi is holding the Veena. One of the things how she holds. And this represents us, our body, our spine, our straight spine and the nerve. So this represents our bottom part from our Muladhara to our Agnya chakra. And the strings actually represent the nerves, where she holds us. And she activates the kundalinis with her finger. She activates the kundalini power with her fingers, and that's one of her secrets, her fingers, her power source. Her three main mysteries are the eyes, the fingers, and the Veena, in which she strums us, in which she spiritually attunes us, and she raises the kundalini power. As you can see here, she holds a skull, which shows some of her fierceness, and the bloody weapon in which she severs our ego. Her two main animals are the parrot and the elephant. Matangi represents the mind, but that of freeing the mind. the freeing of one's soul, liberation and bliss and passion. She is inflamed with passion. She is inflamed even with sexual passion. She is usually seen as green. Green is like a neutral color. It's neither hot nor cold. It's medium. So here we see the sun behind her. She is the daughter of Matanga. So she represents the complete freedom. So Matangi is sometimes referred to even that she is the elder of Sarasvati. So in the human body, she is like the left Ida Nadi, or the left spiritual channel. And Varaha Devi is the right spiritual channel. So Matangi also loves art for artists. Matangi deals with creation of art, paintings and drawings. So for the artists, she is a patroness, matron, goddess. Also to that of musicians. It says that in her presence, when you worship her, do not make fun of another musician. For she represents the guitarist, the bassist, the drummer, the singer. She represents the one who plays the horn, the trumpet, and the violin. She represents rap, hip-hop, blues, heavy metal, death metal, new metal, black metal. She represents R&B, the blues, opera, classical music, traditional folk music, country music, new and old, all the music she represents. She represents the sound of the guitar, the sound of the horn and the drummer and the singer. Now, another thing is, when you're worshiping her, refrain from making fun of women. Like, oh, she's fat. Oh, she's skinny. Oh, you know, she's got tattoos all over her face. You want, at that point, to, like, refrain from it. Matangi represents women. She is the divine feminine, after all, right? So, like I said, her three secrets to know about the Divine Mother Matangi is her fingers, the vina, and the eyes. These three parts of her indicate the three universal secrets. So, like I said, the vina represents the vertebral, vertebral backbone and nerves. So, the name of her vina that she holds is Valaki. Valaki, Vallaki. This instrument indicates the vertebral backbone of our skeletons. And like I said, the wires are our nerves. So it consists of the bones, the cerebral spinal, and the nerves, which help us with sitting, standing, running, jumping, rotating, moving, our central nervous system. So, and this involves the six chakras in this part, from the base to the third eye, the Agnya chakra. And this is she's responsible for waking the Kundalini with her fingers, where she grasps us and she holds us. And then you'll see sometimes with the Vina holding it to her breast, like a mother holding the baby to her breast for nurturing, to give milk. She gives us the spiritual milk, the spiritual energy to thrive, to awaken, to have that Kundalini experience. So she knows where to press, like the acupressure. She knows where to press. So we see the fingers. The way the fingers play the Vina, she plays us. She uses us as her instrument. So, she uses her fingers to awaken our Kundalini. Her eyes, the secrets of Mother Matangi's eyes, indicates her mesmerizing powers of deep trance, of meditation or yogic stages. The yoga nidra, the yogic sleep. This is the power of the state of mind which is ready to receive, to grasp, to understand the divine power, the universe, especially her power. She gives meditation, hypnosis, relaxation, and also siddhi, which is occult magic. She is the cosmic power of nature, and in fact, she's also known as Prakriti, where she is nature. She is Mother Nature. But her eyes also indicates the power of the gaze. Look into my eyes, like Count Dracula. Look into my eyes, and they go into a deep hypnotic state where Dracula can make his victims do things or forget things. That's also her power. She can lure someone into a hypnotic sleep or mesmeric sleep. And she teaches people that. Look into my eyes. So, the planet of Matangi Raja Matangi is the sun. So one of her aspects is Raja Matangi. That planet represents the sun. She also is said to represent Mercury. Not Raja Matangi, but Matangi. So she deals with the sun and Mercury. So Matangi teaches spell work, occult work, the power of the mind, and freedom, bliss, attainment, and the acceptance of your wild spirit. She accepts the unaccepted. So she has like 3 main forms: Uchista Chandali, Shaimala, also known as Raja Shaimala. And of course, we have the she's also like Matangi. So you got Shaimala, which is also Raja Shaimala, Matangi, Raja Matangi, and Chandali, Uchista Chandali. Shaimala, which is Raja Shaimala, Chandali, Uchista Chandali, and Matangi, Raja Matangi. It is says that Matangi is the minister of Tripura Sundari. Who is Tripura Sundari? Please look on my channel. I've done a whole presentation on the beauty of the 3 worlds. So Matangi is the divine Mahavidya mother form of Vashikaran, which is mean of the controlling of the mind. She represents the Samohana, lust powers. And she also represents attraction, the powers of attraction, which is Akarshana, the power of attraction. So controlling the mind, attraction, and lust. So she is used in spells to even dominate, bind, control, and command. For whatever reason. Sexual, for like love spells. So she teaches the practitioner how to gain a special attraction within the smile, the voice, the hands, the eyes, the movements, even their looks. Learn how to be a leader and follow your own self. Follow your own dreams, not the dreams of your mother or your father or your brother. To follow your own way in life. So, Matangi, one of her bija mantra is same thing as Sarasvati's. I'm. I-A-M. I'm. Her long mantra is very long. It's Om Hrim Aim Shrim Namo Bhagavati Uchita Chandali Shri Matangeshvari Sarva Janava Shankari Svaha. So basically, it's worship or reverence to the adorable Matangi, the outcast and residue, who gives control over all creatures. Om has 100 meanings, one of them being the infinite. Hrim is the feminine power. Hrim is also the bija mantra of Bhuvana Shivari. But Hrim is the feminine. It's also that of transformation. Aim is knowledge, to know things. Shrim deals with Lakshmi. Shrim deals with riches and glory. We have Bhagavati, which is more of a fiercer form of the goddess. Uchista means like to secondhand food and stuff like that, and Jandali is outcast. So one of her meditation forms is as follow, where she plays a ruby-studded veena. She sits on a jeweled throne. She's ecstatic, blissful, laughing and delighting in sweet honey speech. She is the daughter of the sage Matanga, who has soft and dark emerald body and limbs. In some images, she has forearms and some too, but we also see her with 4 arms, and she wears Chandra, the moon, for an ornament. She has uprisen sexy breast, anointed with red kumkum power, K-U-M, K-U-M. And she carries a bow made of sugar cane, a noose, a hook, and flower arrows made of flowers in her hands. You are supposed to honor her as the mother of the universe. She represents deep knowledge and profound life energy. She deals with, like I said, Mercury and the sun. She's able to fascinate us and subdue us. Sometimes she holds a parrot in her hands. She has the great power of speech. The location in our body where we can visualize her, she's on the tip of our tongue and in our throat chakra, the center of our speech. So, and there's also a special nerve. There is a special nerve of the subtle body called Sarasvati that runs from our Agnya, the third eye, to the tip of our tongue. This relates to Matangi. So it's the stream of inspiration. Where we are inspired, and then it takes expression in form of speech. So she also is said to have 4 arms, one for each book of the Veda. Matangi is the divine word. The divine word has great power, feeling, and passion. This is not just also divine human motion, but divine bliss. The divine word, the ordained word. Matangi is wild, playful, but also aggressive, and she's ecstatic and blissful but also deals with high pollution. So those who have imbibed alcohol, which is considered tamastic, it's also your goddess. I'm not saying go out and get drunk. I'm just saying that, oh, it's considered highly polluted alcohol, and blood is highly pollution, especially period blood. Again, women on their period will find a closer connection to this goddess. And of course, I'm not saying the period blood. I'm not going into pollution or non-pollution. I'm just saying by what society was is that, oh, women are polluted. And they were even put outside the home until their bleeding stopped. But it's also considered highly powerful where a woman Shakti energy is vibrant. And like I said, she is music. She is the manifest form of song. Mata and Matangi literally means thought, as well as an opinion. Matangi is the power. The power of the divine feminine which has entered into our thoughts, our mind, our brain. She is the great power and the embodiment of our thoughts. She also relates to our, guess what? We have two of them. Ears. She is the power to listen. To listen. Not just to hear, but to listen. And to comprehend what you heard, not out through one ear and out the other. She is the power of true understanding. She also bestows talent and expertise. So remember, Matangi is all forms of art, even interior decoration. That would be Matangi. You make jewelry as art, that's a form of art. You make glass art, that's a form of art. You carve, that's a form of art. You tie-dye, that's a form of art. You mold things out of clay, form of art. A kid coloring in a coloring book, form of art. All hers. She deals with not just music, too, but also dancing to the music. Even mosh dance, okay? We can even consider that the mosh pit, yes. As a form of dance. Break dancing. You know, any form of dance. Tap dancing. Dancing on ice. Hers. So Matangi also represents, like I said, Vaikari, the spoken word. She is the spoken word. What I am saying is Matangi. Hello, goodbye, what's up? The curtains are blue. I love death metal. I'm a Slayer fan. All those, the spoken word, hers. So I know this just crosses over with Sarasvati, and eventually I'm going to do a video on her. You don't even have to ask. Matangi also represents the form of speech which is Madhyama, the middle form of speech, which is governing our ideas, the ideas that we are putting into words, the thinking process, the thinking. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say here? And so, helping us put our words together before we even speak it. She also represents Matangi in her highest role, Paravakari, which is the supreme word. The supreme word, as manifest through audible speech. Which is pretty much a direct knowledge, revelation, the revealing of the highest knowledge in this human speech, from which arises the true scriptures, the scriptures, and where one attains a mantra in deep meditation, where one receives a mantra which is already activated by the divine. So we see that now that Matangi encompasses all different types of speech, vak, the spoken word. So Matangi in this way relates to Sarasvati, who was also the consort of her husband, Lord Brahma, who is Brahma, the creator, the beginning, life of the universe. So we see that Sarasvati also plays a veena and rules over music. Matangi is our spiritual guru. She is the inner guru. She instructs us. She instructs us through the speaking, the spoken word, through Vak. And she gives us Vaksiti, the magical word, the occult word, the powerful words. She represents through the teachings of the Guru. And we honor Matangi through the Guru. Those seeking to teach others, to be a teacher, especially one who wants to communicate to the masses, whether in person, live video, or the way I'm doing it, should seek the blessings, the power, and the grace of Matangi. Mata, as I said, represents thought, but it also represents wild. I know you're going to get me. So, well, you forgot something. No, I didn't. I was going to get to it. Mata also represents passionate and wild. Matangi, like I said, is the passionate wild one. In our passions, in our limbs, and the movement of our body. This, like the belly dancer, the pole dancer, the lap dancer. Why not? I know some people are going to get angry at me. How dare you? But it is true. And yes, well, the lap dancers, it's, well, what is it? That's Matangi's domain. Matangi also represents and means female impassioned elephant, or just female elephant who's impassioned or impassioned limbed female elephant. Now, who is the elephant god in Hinduism? Ganesha, and also the feminine form of Ganesha is Ganeshvara, who is also a female elephant. And Ganesha is the son of Parvati and Shiva. And also the elephants represents Indras and Indrani's animal elephant. Just doing a little connection here. Sorry. Got a little sinus going on. No, I'm not sick, just little allergies. So, speaking of the mantras, is Matangi. And like I said, Matangi is the minister and the counselor to Tripura Sundari, the queen of the universe, the beauty of the three worlds. Matangi reveals. She will help you speak your mind, what you feel, to put things into words. She will help you with that. Now, the Matangi can be worshipped for in the right-hand path as well as the left-hand path. So she's used for, like, what we would say, white magic spells and black magic spells. She uses to bless and to grace as well as to curse. Especially people who like to use rhyme spells and like to use spells that or words. Matangi. Especially when you say, mark my words, so-and-so, this is gonna happen. That's power Matangi. Wishing. To wish with your words. I wish I may, I wish I might. I wish I get rich tonight. Again, those are Matangi. So, do you want to hear some stories about her? Well, there is a story where in order to destroy a certain demon, the divine Mother Lalita, Tripura Sundari, created two forms of herself. The first form was Matangi, and the second form was Dandini. Who is her Dandini? Who is Dandini? She's also called Varahi. She is the punisher, the destroyer. She is the commander, the controller. And she created this, her form, to subjugate this demon. So, out of the form of Tripura Sundari comes Matangi. There is also another story about her, and that once Parvati visited Shiva's sister, that the sister kept on putting down Shiva's ways. He's an animal. He smells. blah, blah, blah. And Parvati could not deal with it anymore. She could not deal with it anymore. So Parvati cursed her to become what she feared the most. To be born upon humans in poverty, in filth, and to be an outcast. So Shiva's sister became reborn in an untouchable community to spend her entire life there. And so she was reborn as an untouchable, as Parvati has cursed her, in the untouchable area of Varanasi, in such polluted circumstances that she found herself miserable, depressed. So she begged Shiva. She begged Shiva, who gave her the boon that now people on the pilgrimages to Varanasi would have to worship at her shrine before their journey can be considered complete. There is another one where Shiva and Parvati were eating, and their scraps and crumbs fell all over. And out of these table scraps arises the goddess of Ujjista, Matangi. And the first thing she says, I ask for sustenance in the form of leftover food. So Matangi requests this in the story. So that's why devotees should offer her Ujjista with their hands and their mouths stained with food. That the worshipper should be in a state of pollution, having just eaten and not washed. And this is a dramatic reversal of what we do for our deities, right? Dramatic reversal. It's like, holy shit, it's a 180. There's another one where, Parvati and Shiva, of course, married. And Parvati visits her family. And she steps away from Shiva and she visits her family. So Shiva, when he was away, Shiva wasn't happy, and he was worried that maybe Parvati wasn't being honest. Maybe she was having an affair. So Shiva kind of got himself a little bit jealous. So Shiva disguises himself as an ornament maker, and he went to the Himalayas house. He sold shell ornaments to Bhagavati. So seeking to test her faithfulness to him, he says, because she said, what's your payment? He said to have sex. So Parvati was so angry. She knitted her eyebrows and she was about to curse him. But then she was like, through her yogic powers of discernment, she knew that this was her husband. She was like, She said, sure, I'll pay you in sex, but not just yet. She said, I agree. So the ornament maker and Parvati made an agreement. So later on, Parvati decides to do the same thing to Shiva. She disguises herself, but as a huntress and a Chandali, an outcast. And she goes to Shiva's home, preparing to do penance and prayer. And there she danced. She danced such seductively near the Manas lake. She wore clothing of red. Her body was very lean and seductive. Her eyes wide and her breasts large and her hips. Oh my God. She was just dancing, and Shiva admired her and said, who are you? And she goes, I am the daughter of a Chandala. I have come here to do prayers and penance. And Shiva, of course, saying, I'm the one who gives boons and fruits and blessings to those who come here to do penance. And Shiva grabbed her by the hand and kissed her. And he was prepared to make love to her. But while they were making love, Shiva did the same thing he was accusing Parvati of doing, which she did not do. But Shiva was changed himself, and he was changed by her into a Chandala, an outcast. Then at this point, he recognized, the Chandali was his wife, the goddess Parvati, whom they made love. So after they made love, Parvati asked for a boon from Shiva, in which he granted. She said, Shiva, as you made love to me in the form of a Chandali, an outcast woman, this is the form that will last forever and be known as just the Chandali. So she would be known as an outcast. And she said, only after performing suitable worship to this form will you, my husband, be worshipped, and your worship will be made fruitful. So there is also another story about how Matanga went and did penances and austerities in order to gain powers to subdue all creatures. And he continued and continued and continued with his austerities until a bright burst of light, and the goddess Tripura Sundari appeared before him in all her brilliance and magnificent light. And she emitted brilliant rays from her eyes. And the great goddess Kali, the black goddess, Kali Ma, as we see right there, came from her, emerged from her. And Kali, then her color changed from black to a greenish complexion. And she assumed the form of Raja Matangi, or Matangini. So with the help of this Devi, Matanga was able to realize his desire to control all creatures. So those are some of the stories dealing with Matangi. There's a few more. There's a few more stories that you can find, even in the Buddhist tradition. You will find her. With the story of Ananda. You can look that up. So, what can I sum up about Matangi? Sometimes she is sitting on a corpse. She's sitting on a dead human body. And the cremation ground, of course. And she sitting there with a garland of gunja seeds, which is a small forest like seed. And here she is seen as she's young. She's about 15, 16 years old and full breast. And here she on a corpse, she's holding a skull and a sword in her two hands. And she should be offered, of course, leftovers. So after you finish your meal, give it to her. Now, there's also another color where she's blue. She's blue and has the moon, the Chandra, on her forehead. Here she has 3 eyes. She sits on a throne with jewels. And adorned, she wears jewel ornaments like bracelets and rings. And necklaces and earrings, and she has a very thin waist, and her breasts are round and firm. She smiles and holds a noose, a goad, a sword, and a club in her four hands. So another one is where she's seated on an altar. She smiles, and she has a green complexion. She's worshipped by demons and gods alike. And around her she wears the kandamba flowers. Here her hair is very long, and the disk of the moon, of course, adorns her forehead. She has a slight perspiration, slightly around her face, which makes her more beautiful and bright and desirable. Below her navel, her belly button, she has 3 horizontal lines from the folds of her skin. And she also has a thin vertical line of fine hair. Must be sexually attractive. She wears a girdle of ornaments, with jewels. She wears bracelets and ear ornaments and necklaces. Her eyes are intoxicated. She, here in this one, represents the 64 arts. And here she is holding, or she has flanked by 2 parrots. Not holding, but she has 2 parrots on her. And right now I got a cat with me. Can you hear him purr? That's the Joker. Maybe he'll come on to the altar. Hey, Joker, come on. You want to play? You want to come on the altar? No? Come on, show everybody. Say hello to everybody, Joker. No? He just woke up from a nap. So there is, oh God, you got your, maybe he'll, I think he wants to go after my drink, which you're not getting. So there is so much to learn about this goddess. There is so much, oh my God, come on. You're gonna spill my cards out. So there's so much to learn about this wonderful goddess. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. But I do want to say, like, her 1,000-name hymn, which she is she who lives in the forest, she who knows the forest, she who travels in the forest, she who loves the forest. So here we see her dealing with the forest and the jungle. One of her names is Shivari, which is another type of goddess who deals with the forest. She is said to love music in her names. Like in her 100-name hymn, she is said to be like another goddess who loves music. So she is like, she's sort of like identified or with the goddess Shivari, who's a mistress of the Shavaras. And these are like the tribal people that were mentioned in Sanskrit literature. And they're like the forest dwellers who live beyond civilized societies. And she's also considered like a 16-year-old girl and short in stature. And this goddess is actually entirely clothed with leaves and wears gunja berries, a garland of gunja berries, and also her earrings are that of insects, like caterpillars, for instance, or not spiders or arachnids, but like something like caterpillars. And she's singing and smiling. And she's collecting fruit with her right hand. I thought that would be interesting to bring up. But there's so much to learn about Matangi, and I want to thank you for watching. And if you watch towards its end, I don't have a Patreon account. But I know someone who does, and they're a band from India. Consider supporting them. They're called Bloodywood. Look them up. Bloodywood. Oh my God, I love them. And they work, they're a metal band, but they also really help people. They've helped people, they've helped animals. They actually provided 60 free counseling sessions for online for people who are suffering depression. If you look up their song Shivari, also the song Yad, they showed about how when they came back from their European tour, they actually donated a brand new van to use as an ambulance for the Humane Society to help save at least 15 dogs a day. And they helped with these abandoned dogs that are abandoned, thrown out, who are stray and wild and also abused. So they help with that. They help with a lot of different causes, and they inspire people. And people say that they're inspired by their lyrics to not commit suicide or to live another day. But they're really heavy. I mean, the singer's got the voice of Tom Araya from Slayer. I mean, you hear the music and all of a sudden, and you see the mosh pit, and you think there's something like the most vicious, vile shit will be coming out of their mouth, but it's just the opposite. It's pretty good. They mix rap with, I know it sounds like far-fetched, they mix rap with metal, with folk Indian music, and you hear the flutes and everything, but it is heavy as fuck, But go to their YouTube channel, and what you would have given me, give to this band. Give to that band. So anyways, I want to thank you for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. And if you really like this video, please subscribe and share this video with your family and friends on Facebook or Messenger through text message. And as always, thank you and blessed be.